Hey guys, welcome to episode 8 of Howling Fury. We have huge news after the patch just dropped. We're going to be talking about Kale Thas, the patch notes, and a few changes to ETC and Diablo and what we actually think of them now that they're in the game. And finally, Johanna, and hopefully coming soon. Let's just jump right in, I guess. We have a lot to talk about.
For sure. And let's start with the hero. The main hero of the week, the month, and everybody's favorite at this point, the flavor of the month, Kael Thas. So, let's just kind of have an open discussion about this. We all played him a little bit, just a few games. What do you guys think? Off the bat.
He's really fun to play. Like, his trait makes him very unique. Like, every situation, you're always thinking about how you can use his ability to play a certain situation out. Like, what is it? His tornado can stun multiple people if you use this trait, or like do extra damage. It's like really interesting.
Yeah, and what we're talking about here is the Verdant Spheres, the passive ability, which is now inactive, I guess.
Yeah, maybe we should explain what he does.
Yeah.
Let's go through abilities first, and then we'll play a little game where each of us will describe him in one single word, so you can start thinking about your word for Kael Thas. So his trait, as Nathan was saying, Verdant Spheres. Activate to make your next basic ability more powerful. Sounds very lame, right?
Yeah, it's just the fact that they can't really describe it in any way. They have to tie it to the other abilities, so they did what they could with it.
So here is a better description. His basic abilities, the ones that this thing buffs, are Flame Strike. After a short delay, deal damage in an area. And if you have the spheres activated, it increases the radius and damage. And when we say increase, we really mean increase. It can cover almost a whole wave of creeps, I believe. Like it's bigger than Jaina's Frost Blizzard thing. A little bit. Right?
Yeah.
His second ability is Living Bomb. Damages an enemy over a short period of time, after which the target explodes, dealing damage to nearby enemies. Casting a second Living Bomb on the target will cause it to explode immediately. And if you have the Verdant Spheres activated, removes the living costs, the Living Bomb's mana cost and cooldown. So essentially making it free and instant. Right?
Yeah.
So that's not lame at this point already. And his third ability is Gravity Lapse. It stuns the first enemy it hits, and if the Verdant Spheres are active, it stuns 3 enemies.
Yeah.
And this is a 1.5 second stun. It's quite long. It's not one of those short stuns.
Yeah, so, and the fact that it can hit 3 people, that's quite...
It's just the king of team fights at this point. So it sounds. Anybody wants to tell the viewers about the heroic abilities to make it even more ridiculous?
So one of his heroic abilities is like a Kamehameha, like a fireball that he sends at a target that I think it guarantees to hit them, but it involves casting, and when you start casting it, they have to be relatively, not really close, but...
About screen.
Yeah.
About screen width. But if they escape that area while you're casting it, it will actually go on a shorter cooldown. Like 8 seconds or something.
Yeah, I think it's similar to a lot of abilities where if they get cancelled while being used, they go on like a mini cooldown.
Like Rhaegar, if he misses heal.
It's a very short one.
Yeah.
And the other one is what? Phoenix?
Yeah.
So what does that do? I haven't tried that one yet.
So this one works more like a zoning tool from what I've seen. You drop it in an area, it flies to that area and does damage to everyone along its path, and then becomes like a mini turret in that area, attacking enemies that are in its way, and I believe it deals like 50% splash damage to everything else around it. So it's a great zoning tool. You don't want to just stand in it. But the damage does seem a little bit lackluster compared to Fire Blast, which is one of the strongest single target damage skills in the game right now.
Yeah, we've seen Fire Blast one-shot people easily.
Yeah.
Anywhere actually in the mid-game, from level 10 to 20. If it hits, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. If you have any of your other basic abilities out there, that's also another guaranteed kill. So, that's, take it or leave it, that's his abilities. Now let's get to our game. How would you call him in one word? Let's start with Aaron. One word.
Destruction? I don't know.
Destruction. Nathan.
Yeah, I would have gone with something like a cannon. He's
Cannon. And I'm gonna go with ridiculous. Because what this does, at this point, it's truly ridiculous. I mean, we understand that this is the first week, right? And probably some fine-tuning is in order. But being on the receiving end of the Pyroblast, or having, no cooldown, 0 mana cost living bomb cast onto you, in a team fight where you will damage everybody around you, that's just devastating.
Well, we said that about Sylvanas, like when she came out, right? We said she was OP. They didn't change her.
I still think Sylvanas is in a worse place than him. I feel like he is a really strong assassin, and I can deal with him. I don't feel like I've been cheated when I fight him. I still have problems with Sylvanas.
Yeah, Sylvanas is very special, for sure. So, how does he fare in, team fights? Have you tried Kael Thas? Is he an absolute winner? Does he have to be on the outskirts? Can he be in the middle?
He needs to be on the outskirts. He definitely needs people to aid him. Like, he can't. If he's in battle alone and no one's like peeling off of him, he's gonna get like insta killed.
Yeah, he's squishy.
Yeah, and he should be targeting the lowest person on their team, or like the weakest, because like he's very good at focusing one target down and doing a lot of damage. Yeah.
So you mentioned he's really squishy. Does he have any mitigation abilities for that? Does he have armor, or can he escape? How does he deal with being pressured by others?
I believe at 16 he does have a shield based on his mana, and he has no form of escape whatsoever. I don't even think he...
No, he does
get bolt. He does get bolt at level 20.
So that's really not enough, right?
Well...
No. I don't think he has the survival. I don't think he's meant to have that much survivability. Like the way I think they want you to play him is like glass cannon.
Yeah, he is the truest definition of glass cannon in the game right now.
So how would you play against him? If you see a really overpowered assassin on the opponent's team, what should you do? What's your first thing to do?
Well, like any assassin, you should focus them down. Like assassin, like what I see in most pugs are people attacking the tank, which is really bad idea, especially now that they buffed most of them. They should be attacking the assassins.
Why do you think that is, though?
I think because they're in your face and they're closer, so people are like, "Oh, look, they're already here. Why not just hit them?"
And there's a lot of displacement in them. They are threats in themselves, and if you need to get through them to get to the assassins, it's better to just kill them. But that's, I think, where he shines more than a lot. Is his Pyroblast can be used from a pretty far distance, and he can combo and keep people away from him with his Gravity Lapse ability. So getting up to him is hard enough, but if you do get to him, he has no way of escaping, and his abilities are quite hard to land when you're in his face beating on him.
Yeah.
So who would you say is the best counter, or your favorite counter to Kael Thas at this point out of the heroes that you've played?
If I were to pick a hero to fight against them,
to counter Kael Thas.
Someone with a stun. Who has good stun? Like Muradin.
Muradin has a good stun.
I think would be very good at jumping on him.
A lot of gap closers are really good against him because he doesn't have any way of gaining that distance back. So if you jump on him, he just has to take it, really.
Yeah. I personally would pick Kerrigan. Because of the crib she can do, so she interrupts. And
very squishy, right? Like, I feel like Kerrigan trying to get to Cal is like, she's going to take a lot of damage. Trying to
glass cannon on glass cannon, technically.
Yeah. Like,
she's a little bit more beefy than him, but it really depends on team composition in that sense. I think having warriors is a really good idea to push forward against him, but at the same time, they can get gravity lapsed and run into some pretty bad situations against them.
But doesn't Muradin become unstoppable when
he does not?
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
So that could be an issue for him. Kind of, a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about having Kael Thas on your team now. So you see some guy playing Kael Thas and you want to help him out because he's so overpowered. What should you do? What's your first rule of thumb to keep him alive and
keep people off of him? Anyone that's getting within his range is a huge threat to him, and they have to switch their focus to keeping them off of themselves and trying to keep themselves alive rather than deal damage to the rest of the team.
Okay. Can you do anything else? Can you help him escape in any other way? Like for a support. Say you're playing a support.
Like you can throw shields on him, but like you shouldn't be in a position where he's like tanking and you support him. He should be surviving on his own by staying away from the fight. Like the best you can do is like slow the enemies down, trying to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
So you heard it. There are lots of things you can do. Help out your Kael Thas while he is still overpowered. Now let's switch the focus from team fights and fighting in general a little bit to how he fares in a PvE situation. How is he in the laning phase? How is he against the objectives? Can he do something ridiculous like Tassadar, for instance, pushing the lanes?
He can definitely push lanes, but I don't think that's what he's like the best at. Like he can go clear lanes. Like he won't be as good as what's her name?
Jaina?
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas?
Yeah, like he won't be
Yeah.
able to take towers down or anything. He'll be able to kill a couple creeps and like okay, he'll get to a tower and then realize he just can do a lot of damage to it. Might be able to take it down, but
But
not
in
as
a way,
efficiently.
Sylvanas is really a specialist, so she's
Yeah.
designed for that. Let's compare like apples to apples, really. So we
I
all
think
know
the
these
best
like.
comparison is Jaina in this case.
There you go.
Very similar to her.
I was gonna say like on a scale of Nova to Jaina,
Yeah.
where is he like closer to which one? Right,
Oh,
Nova
yeah.
that's completely incapable of doing anything that's PvE, or
Hmm.
Jaina.
He's definitely in league with Jaina. I think Jaina's a little bit stronger at dealing with towers because her trait works on towers. You can crit them and fight against them like that. And I find her a little bit stronger in most cases, especially in team fights, because Pyroblast is a great skill, but it doesn't really have a place when you're in the middle of a fight. It's a good initiation to a fight if you're lucky to get it off, because it has such a long cast time. I believe it's 2 seconds that
Yeah.
you're spending the whole fight casting it, and the damage won't even go out until another 2 or 3 seconds into the fight when the ball actually hits the target.
That's a good point. So potentially your target will be dead
Mhm.
by the time that this thing even like launches.
Yeah.
Right. So which heroic ability would you pick, like as a default in default case? Would it be Pyroblast or Phoenix?
I like Pyroblast because like they gave examples on how to use it. Like you can use it to start a fight to help push people away, like distort where the enemies are going.
Mhm.
It's also very good at like when people start running away and you want to try to catch them in the middle of a team fight or at the end of a team fight. You don't have to go chase. You can send a fireball at them or Pyroblast at them.
Some of them actually turn and try to come back.
Because
what
it's
it is.
inevitable death at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, may as well save yourself some time for the respawn.
You can sort of. I don't know if you can outrun it. Maybe is that?
If you make it to your fountain, probably it's
Oh,
gonna do nothing.
I've tried that. Yeah, it doesn't hit you when you hit your fountain. If you're in your fountain.
Yeah, because you can't take damage in the fountain, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. So maybe that's the only salvation, really. It doesn't get blocked by buildings.
I don't
No.
think so.
No?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like a
That's-
homing missile. It is a homing missile.
It is.
Keeps going after
Truly.
you.
Wow.
Just imminent death.
Okay, so that's Kael Thas. Guys, get him, try him, see if you like him, then you can buy him. He's currently on sale with his steampunk or something like that skin.
I recommend that skin. I really like it.
Yeah, it really makes him stand out. I didn't buy it because I got too excited to buy it.
Yeah, I
Fine.
haven't seen that many people with it right now, actually.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
A lot of people didn't like it. I'm probably in the minority here, but I think it changes his character a lot for one of the more simpler skins. I don't think it's the most expensive skin.
No, and if you
It's
get it in a
different.
bundle, it's really
Mhm.
cheap. Yeah, it is. It's gonna make you stand out because apparently nobody likes it. So get the skin. Let's look at something else that's coming out, and that something else is I don't know whether it was leaked or officially announced or what the deal was, but we have a new hero coming out. So who is that hero? What is she about, or he?
Johanna, the Crusader from Diablo. So a lot of people have been crying out for some non-World of Warcraft heroes, and we finally got one. One I'm really excited about. Fits very similar to my style of play.
Sweet. So tell us about her. What does she do? What role she is?
So if anyone's not familiar, she is from Diablo. She plays a very battle-scarred, armored tank sort of feel. She's shield and flail in hand, and she's just about soaking up as much damage as possible and throwing the enemies into chaos. If we want to go into her abilities a bit.
So she's a warrior, right? That's our base. So for the abilities, her trait... What is her trait? Is it Iron Skin?
Yes, it's Iron Skin. Which
Perfect.
Is
so she becomes unstoppable and gains a shield that absorbs a lot of damage for 4 seconds. Yeah. Right, so that's your initiation ability. You put that on and you run into the fight. For basic ability, she's got Punish. Deal damage in slow enemies. It decreases over 2 seconds, I believe.
Yep.
She's got Condemn, that after 1 second you pull all nearby enemies towards you and do some damage to them. She has Shield Glare, which deals damage to enemies and curses them to miss the next 2 basic attacks for 4 seconds.
Yeah, so her kit seems really strong just from there. A lot of CC, which seems to be the case with a lot of the newer heroes. A lot of CCs coming into the game.
But her stuff, like every ability, is a CC in a way.
Yeah.
Is it displacement or slow?
Damage mitigation, stuns, slows, and the Condemn ability honestly seems like the core of her kit, like the thing that will make her stand out a lot. I think the only other skill in the game that pulls people towards you is Gazlo's ult. Does anyone else pull? Well, Stitches.
Stitches Diablo does in a way. Kind of spins you around and moves you where he needs to.
Yeah.
But that's really...
Oh, Kerrigan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kerrigan is another one. And Kerrigan, that pull is one of the strongest things she has. She's a great combo within her pull and stun, and to give that to a tank like her, Johanna, like, it seems really strong. Especially because it's not a directional pull, it's just in every direction towards you. So they can't really run away from it.
Yeah, so you can do like pull and then shield glare, and basically that's
Sonya kind of has that trap too, right?
Yeah, but it does not pull. It doesn't pull in the sense. I think she's going to be one of those core heroes when you're looking at doing the wombo combo style with multiple ults that hit area effects.
Yeah.
You're going to want to have her to condemn and pull everyone in.
Yeah, and
she's
going to
someone scary. Yeah.
Actually, if she pulls into Jaina's freezing circle, that's pretty much puts them in place for, good number of seconds.
If we're going to talk about her ults, she doesn't even need anyone else to do that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So what are the ults? What's the ult situation?
So we have 2 options of case with every hero: Falling Swords and Blessed Shield. Falling Swords, you leap into the air, similar to Sonya's ult, except you can direct where you're landing as you fall down over 2 seconds, and when you hit the ground, you launch everyone into the air, stunning them effectively. So even more CC on her from her ult.
Yep.
From what we've seen of the videos and the visual effects of it, it looks like quite a big area too. So it's going to be fun to use
the
that.
whole enemy team if they all know objective or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I think it'll be in similar size to Uther's ult, the Divine Storm, I believe it's called.
Yeah. So that's one. What's the other one? You said
Blessed Shield, which is a targeted ability that throws shield out, and it bounces between up to 2 other enemies. So it hits the target, and then bounces to the 2 nearest targets, and stuns all of them for 1 second. So
same one from Diablo, right?
Yeah. I think it's also in World of Warcraft, so a lot of people will be familiar with this.
Yeah, Paladin has that ability.
Yeah.
Protection Paladins, they use that all the time.
I think that goes for a lot of the mechanics in this game.
Yeah. It's a nice way to bring in players from the other games to understand these abilities right away, though.
Like when I played Witch Doctor, it's like, oh look, I know all these things.
Yeah.
They're in another game.
Yeah, so definitely something to look out for, and this, what is it called, Blessed Shield is something that I like specifically, not only because I play Protection Paladin in Warcraft, but because of level 20 upgrade that she can get to it, that basically increases the range, and also the amount of targets hit by 2, so that's pretty much everybody.
Yeah, you can hit the whole team.
If they're grouped up, you're basically stunning everyone. There is no escape. If they're trying to pull back, that's it.
There's no escape from her, from what we can see of her kit.
Yeah, true. The only thing, like, I don't know, it looks overpowered at this point, but I was saying that about every single hero that's just coming out.
Hmm.
If she's squishy, or more like Sonya on the squishier side, then this could actually be a really interesting hero.
Yeah, I think that's where it lands, is if she's too squishy to deal with a lot of the damage that's going to be coming her way, because she is a giant CC machine,
Yeah.
and she has to be in the middle of a fight, so if you can blow her up really quickly, then that's going to be the downside to her that people are going to have to really play around. Though her trait seems to be quite OP right now.
Well, we have to see it in action before we can
Yeah.
really judge, right? But on the other hand, if she's as fat as Diablo and has all these abilities, that's
Yeah.
like the first pick for any major esports event that does Heroes
Yeah.
of the Storm easily.
The Warriors really seem to be being turned up a notch.
Yeah.
All of them seem to be really strong now. They're all just building on flavor and like style too. So it's
And
nice to see.
they all get some sort of changes,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah,
were
they
talking
are
about it
really
last week
buffed.
a bit.
Hmm.
So let's look at those changes maybe. We said to our viewers that we're going to look at what actually happened to a few special heroes to our heart, the Diablo, the ETC, and my absolute favorite, the three little midgets that are so annoying.
Hmm.
And they all happen to be warriors, I believe, right? That's
Specialist for the
for the midgets.
yeah.
Right, so let's start
They're
with the
specialists?
warriors. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Are they, actually?
Yeah, I believe so. They do not play like any other class, so
Yeah, that's like a role in
Yeah.
its own.
Mhm.
Separate. Fifth
That's
role.
a different game completely.
Well, in all honesty, they are three different characters. One plays as a tank, the other plays as an assassin.
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
it's a combination. So let's start with Diablo. What actually happened?
So most of the changes were design oriented. I think balancing, he's still in a similar spot. He's one of those heroes who can run and deal a bunch of damage. And if you go with the Lightning Breath ult, he becomes a really strong damage dealer in that sense. And while that all still stays true, I actually found he had more health now. So they moved some of his talents that gave health per soul that you got and things like that around to be part of his original kit.
Mm-hmm.
And his talents got moved around a little bit more. So it's a lot to talk about, but in essence, he got tankier, he got more damage output. He did lose some stun invulnerability that he had when he charged people, and that is quite noticeable. So that's the big downside to his character. But other than that, it seems to be mostly buffs.
Yeah, they added some lifesteal, I see.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
very
yeah,
cool
how
stuff.
does that work? Is that really overpowered?
Not really. It seems really good on him because I think, looking at the post that they made, they did a QA post earlier this morning, and I was reading through it and just pulling out little notes of information. The changes they made to the tanks were more to build on their sustain, because they wanted the tanks to be large, self-sustaining heroes that can be in a fight for a long time and start to ramp up in damage. And I think Diablo fits that like to a T. His Lightning Breath does not do a lot of damage to start off, but it builds up in a fight and can quickly snowball into a huge amount of damage. And having that lifesteal ability gives him the sustain to stay in a fight long enough for that to be a real threat.
And really, in Heroes of the Storm, warriors fill two major roles, unlike other MOBAs that we saw. So first of all, they are initiators. You want them first in the fight, or like hooking if it's a Stitches, or charging and if it's a Diablo. Usually. There are definitely edge cases out there. And second of all, you want them in the PvE situations when you have to tank a gigantic boss or hold an objective or something like this. So more defensive. That's why giving them abilities like this that are a bit more kind of active mitigation-y, I think it's a really good design paradigm generally. Maybe not pushing into extremes like what we're seeing for Johanna. She doesn't seem like she has anything outside of CC right now.
Well,
But that should be enough, right?
yeah. She fills a similar role to ETC, so it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between the two.
Oh, that's true. ETC is a bit on the
CC heavy side. Yeah.
Yeah. So did he get any changes done to him?
Yeah, speaking of which, a lot of his abilities got moved around too. Trying to wrap it up into a small, concise point would probably be his CC is more effective now, but his damage became a little less noticeable. It ramps up later into the game rather than earlier.
So basically, forget everything you knew about TTC and start learning him as a new character.
Yeah. From what I've seen, my favorite build so far has been the power slide build, where you just slide around the battlefield, like unreasonably high distances, and you just push people around. And at level 20, you get the ability to power slide while you're mosh pitting, so you'll never miss a mosh pit.
Is there no cooldown on that or something?
It refreshes. So when you can power slide into an enemy, mosh pit, and then it refreshes the cooldown of your power slide, so you can power slide again.
Wow.
So his initiation range became gigantic with that.
And the mosh pit moves with you?
Yeah, and the mosh pit
Wow.
moves with you. But that is at level 20, but...
Is that a bug, or is that what...
No, that is the talent that they put in place for him, and I think it honestly makes mosh pit, like, 100 times better. Because before it became like a situational skill that you kind of wanted to use at certain points, but now you can dodge most stuns. You can reposition yourself if you only catch a few heroes.
Oh,
Bella, who vaults away the second you get in range of her, you just power slide back into her. So it's gonna be crazy to see.
Nothing short of ridiculous.
Yeah, the amount of CC that's been prominent in this patch has been really noticeable, at least from my end. I've just noticed that most heroes that are doing well right now are the CC heavy heroes.
And they're adding Johanna. That will be the queen of everything that is CC. Right? And finally, the 3 dwarves on the ship, and a very important change.
Yeah, they got the bad end of the CC.
So what was it? What did they get?
So the prominent skill with the Lost Vikings, the absurd Viking boat, longboat raid, where a few people understand how the skill works, but I'll go over it quickly, is that they jump into a boat and they gain a new health bar, essentially a new character that is this boat, that fires upon the enemies around the area, and when you destroy the boat, they all come spilling out back at their effective HP that they were at the time when they jumped in, and then they can just run away, which was the most frustrating thing in the world, because you had to try and kill them all for them to just jump into an object and be at full health again, and then you had to kill that, and then kill them essentially again.
Reminds me of the Bubble Hearse Paladin shenanigans with lay on hands, and then Bubble, and then Hearse, and then Heal.
It became this long grinding process of trying to kill 3 people who all ran in different directions, sprinting away, and honestly, it was more of a hassle to try and chase them than anything. But now they placed a debuff of some sort where when you kill the longboat, all the dwarfs inside of it get stunned for 1.5 seconds, so it becomes a little bit harder to just jump into your boat whenever you're in a bad situation, because it's probably going to kill you in that case.
Yeah, because 1.5 seconds, that should be enough, not only to catch them, but to position yourself for the kill.
Yeah. Because they're squishy, and it's hard to move them around, but when you just get out of the boat and they all run in separate directions, you're not going to catch them all.
Yeah, definitely. And I tried so many times, that's why I hate them so much.
It's a nice change. Hopefully it doesn't over-nerf them, but they could use a nerf or two, I think.
Well, they seem to be the most popular hero on the hot slogs? Or the one with the most...
I think they have the highest win rate.
Yeah, they have the highest win rate. I don't think they're the most popular.
Well,
but they are the highest. Yeah.
So highest win rate, even if they get nerfed, they're gonna get, middle of the pack somehow.
Yeah.
Should be.
And I think that's where they should be. They should be the type of hero that if you excel at playing them, they're gonna be good. But they don't need to be unreasonably good for everyone.
Yeah.
Much like Abathur.
Speaking of which, he goes very well with Kale Thas from what we've played with him.
Oh yeah, that's what you tried?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Their
the
combos
random people?
The amount of damage it can output in this
together it's really spectacular to watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought of that. I've thought of Jaina and Kael Thas kind of.
Yeah, they're also a really strong combo. I think the dual spellcasting combos are really strong. Jaina, Kale Thas, Abathur. Even Abathur, Jaina is really good too, so hopefully we'll see a little bit more mix in assassins now that we have Jaina being really prominent and Kale Thas coming out. And it won't just be Vala.
Well, yeah, Vala Jaina seems to be a default combo in most of the games. Especially, God forbid, this is like Vala or Jaina 3-week, like this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be Jaina all over the place, but here we're gonna see like what Jaina and Kael Thas probably.
Yeah. They've already killed me a few times.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, take it or leave it, basically. Right? But, we're gonna see what we can do. So, looks like we are running out of time. This has been half an hour, and we still have like a few topics to talk about.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll just move them to next week, so we don't overextend today. So the patch notes are out. We're gonna put a link in the description for sure. The video will be on YouTube by Thursday. We're gonna be back next week with more news, and as usual, guys, thanks for everybody that come here and watch us. I think we have 2 or 3 people today.
Yeah.
Come say hi, drop a line in the chat. We usually play games with viewers and subscribers after the show, just for some good fun. And we're gonna be maybe playing some today and testing some things out, I believe.
Yeah.
So thanks for all the support, and thanks for watching the show. Let us know in the comments on YouTube, whatever you want to hear from us, if we can improve in some way, or there is a particular topic that you care for. This has been episode 8 of The Howling Fury. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Nuclear launch detected.